Hi guys, so I will be doing the general tarot reading for the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which we also know as the strawberry moon or the penumbral lunar eclipse. So I will be using 5 different decks today to give us a general feel of what other energies we're going to be dealing with besides the one that I mentioned in the previous video that I've posted on my page. So yeah, let's start with the reading. Hi guys, so welcome back to our lunar eclipse in Sagittarius reading. So obviously we are in a zone where everything that is going on globally, because of the pandemic and all the different astrological movements that have been taking place, the retrogrades, the supermoons, the eclipse season energy is all moving into the direction of change, with the planet's overall energy having been negative and destructive. The basic sense of what I'm getting with the cards, the overall energy is that it is important to work towards a greater goal, working together, making the planet a better place for all species to survive in, to question the morality, not just of authoritative figures, but ourselves. How are we, responsible for, causing, problems in the day-to-day, life of our own and also others around us? How can we help change the conscious, level of the planet, and how we can work together to achieve those goals one day at a time. So the overall energy, like I said, is very moment to moment, where the rich, the millionaires and the billionaires are, they're not really experiencing the problems that we're experiencing to the extent that the issues exist for people who are daily wage earners, or perhaps working from paycheck to paycheck, or middle class families. So for them it's a very moment to moment energy, making decisions one day at a time and moving forward. There's still a lot of struggle, but there is hope that things will get better. However, the current times that we're experiencing, there's a lot of mistrust in authoritative figures, a lot of leaders that we looked up to once. We feel they're not really setting good examples for the humanity, and the possibility of everything crumbling because of age-old beliefs and age-old systems that don't really serve the purpose anymore, because of the bias and the discrimination that is so prevalent. There's sexism, racism, there is a lot of homophobia, transgender phobia, and animal abuse and child abuse, women abuse. There's so much abuse. There's abuse of the planet and its resources, and people of power are actually letting that happen. And not just them, we as a planet, like the people, are letting it happen as well. If everybody became a leader, and worked together, and felt responsible for letting each and every one they meet understand that it's a collective thing that we have to do on a daily basis, work together. If you see somebody being abused, somebody hitting an animal, somebody hitting a child, somebody hitting a woman, intervene, stop it from happening, call for help. Like, you know, people have this habit of putting everything on social media. Just, you know, yesterday I was seeing this video of you know, a dog. You know, there were like fish that were, you know, on the floor, and there was water around it. I mean, it wasn't in a, you know, a bucket or anything, or a bowl or anything. It was like a huge fish that had just been thrown on the ground. And this dog is trying, you know, its best to throw water on the fish so the fish would survive. I mean, you know, if you come to see that, it shows that the dog had more humanity than the person who was actually making that video, who could have easily picked up the fish and put it back into the pond or put it into a source of water. But no, this person was just busy taking videos. I think a lot of us, you know, need to question that morality. Instead of trying to help, we find it easier to record things and put it up on social media instead of, you know, going in there and trying to help, or, you know, make noise, collect people, do something, you know. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that, you know, put yourself in danger, but there are situations where you can help people, but then nobody's doing that, you know. So basically, you know, like I said, there's a lot of overall emphasis on integrating and working together, because, you know, again, in any democracy in the world, the government is for the people, by the people, and of the people. So anybody who we're appointing in power, it is our responsibility to make sure that we, you know, give our vote to the right leaders. And if you feel like you do not have, you know, the right leaders in your community, then take responsibility. It's our time to take responsibility and, you know, move out there, become leaders ourselves, and you know, lead by example. And, you know, join the Congress, join you know, politics, join you know, a non-profit organization that's working towards helping people. I mean, of course, there's a lot of people doing that, and you know, huge round of applause for their efforts, because it's because of their you know, continuous efforts at this point that people are receiving help. I'm not saying governments are doing nothing, but I mean, the general consensus of everything is that, you know, people are disappointed in leadership because they expect more, and you know, they pay their taxes and everything. But when you know, people don't receive the same kind of love back, you know, from the authoritative figures, you know, in the form of help of any kind, I mean, it is, of course, disappointing and discouraging. But again, like I said, it's you know, time has come to a place where we need to kind of get together and be part of the change that we're experiencing right now. There's a call for integrating, you know, the species of the earth to work together, and also bring in the yin and the yang together, the masculine energy and the feminine energy. The masculine energy is, of course, very aggressive, confident, all of that. The feminine energy is more nurturing, calming, peaceful. So we need to have a balance of both the energies in order to move forward. Too much of aggression is not going to resolve issues, and neither is too much of passivity and you know, being too forgiving and peaceful. There has to be a balance of both. Which, of course, the planet is going to have to understand, like, what the balance is together, you know. So yeah, that is the overall energy. Now let's get into more details. So guys, when we get into the detailed aspect of what the overall energy is saying, we're back to Queen of Cups. focusing again the nurturing aspect of humanity, caring for another person, healing, giving each other support. We all need that on a conscious level for the humanity to expand and move into a positive direction. Because right now, as we can see, we find ourselves in a predicament that is, very, very mistrusting, not only of authoritative figures, but each other. There's a lot of rampant abuse. The crime is, exponentially high. There's a lot of, like I said, mistrust in communities. Not just one country, it's basically all over the world, and that needs to change for things to move into, like I said, a positive, a better direction for humanity as a whole. Then we have the appearance of the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is again talking about compromising, making a decision. Like I said, there are a lot of moral questions that come into, mind when it comes to, the leadership and the role they play. But I think it's also important to start, being careful of the role we play on a day-to-day basis in our society. Everything we do affects the planet, okay? So if we abuse children, or we don't stand up for somebody who's being bullied, or somebody who's dealing with some sort of problem, at this point people who are old are being abandoned on the streets. There's not there are a variety of issues. On one end we have abuse of animals, and abuse of natural resources, and forest fires and earthquakes, and all those aspects coming into prominence. We also have aspects of racism, sexism, homophobia, heterosexual hate towards homophobic people. There's a disbalance of resources in terms of, if we look at the economy, the rich keep getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Education and healthcare isn't given importance. We kind of have to make sure that things change, and for things to change, we have to take on the role of, leadership, and and work towards those goals. If per se we are not convinced that people in power are doing a good job. So that of course is coming into effect as well, where we're being called to action, to take charge and be responsible for things that are not making us happy anymore, not serving their purpose anymore. Of course, with Nine of Swords again, it's talking about having dissatisfaction, grief, anxiety, a lot of depression. There's a lot of people who are committing suicide, guys. So suicide awareness, again, very, very important. There's a lot of bullying going on social media. Also with the lockdown, people losing jobs. There's a lot of discontentment, a lot of anxiety of how things are going to move from one day to the next. And that dissatisfaction, that anxiety is causing a lot of fear in people. And, there's a lot of people committing suicide. This is, extremely important, again, for everybody to come out and, be nurturing and be supportive. If you know somebody who's, in dire need of help, whether it's financial, emotional, just, reach out to them. I also provide counseling services. So, if there are people out there who need help and who need, an ear and just want to talk, it could be about anything, all right? Please feel free to reach out to me, okay? I'm always, there to listen. I'm always there to, help in whatever way I can, extend, help in however which way possible. So, again, this just does not apply to me. This applies to everybody. Help out, reach out. We kind of need to integrate and work together. Like I said, blend in the masculine and the feminine. All right. Also, with the Five of Pentacles that we see, there is, again, a lot of worry and isolation, financial loss, for a lot of people, daily wage earners, or people working from paycheck to paycheck. Again, a lot of anxiety that's, again, leading to sleeplessness. A lot of people also experiencing insomnia, stress related problems, digestive issues, migraines, headaches. There are different kinds of headaches. So again, migraines, I'm definitely seeing a lot of migraines for a lot of people, and then I don't know, like a lot of kidney based issues as well, because stress obviously attacks the immune system and the organs that kind of help balance out the digestive system and the solar and the sacral chakras. So I am definitely seeing a lot of disturbance in that for a lot of people out there as well. So again, the energy is very low, people feeling very disillusioned, not knowing whether they can trust the authority, but again, as a community, people need to come together to offer help in however whatever resources you have. I mean, not everybody of course has the financial resources to help, but those of you that can just go and talk to someone, or just be there and give support in any way possible. It's important to do that. All right. Also, I'm seeing the card the Moon appear up. Okay, so the Moon, of course, is talking about the problems that are the unseen problems that are there. A lot of questions about how the world is going to progress post this lockdown, how things are going to change. There's obviously going to be a necessity for voluntary changes made by everybody. But again, I think the call to action is trusting the intuition, having faith in, the supreme power. Again, like I said, the moon cycle plays a really, really important role. The moon appearing here is just talking about that. Also, like I said in the previous video that I posted, about the eclipse, that with the eclipse there's an extreme importance to let go of past patterns and move into a new phase of humanity. So with this card appearing, it's telling me that the focus is quite prominently on changes that everybody's going to have to make collectively for the planet to progress in a positive direction. All right, and then the last card is the Ace of Cups. I don't know why I keep saying age, because I think my head is so wrapped around the age of Aquarius because it's so important. But yeah, like the Ace of Cups again, is talking about new emotional ground, a shift in the energy of the planet, moving into a new emotional realm, understanding and trusting our intuition, our higher purpose, in being here on the planet. I also see for a lot of people, the people who have been struggling with, conception and stuff. I see a lot of you, being able to conceive. But that's a very specific number of people. But if I'm talking about the overall energy, I think the energy strongly telling me that the earth is going to move into a more responsible emotional energy, where people are going to start looking out for each other if they want things to change, if they want the power to be in the right hands, in the right kind of leadership, moving forward and taking charge of how the planet progresses into this new age that we're entering into with the age of Aquarius. Again, that's the reason why the Ace of Cups is coming forward, because the age of Aquarius is extremely important. It's pushing us into this new direction that we haven't been, we haven't experienced before, but we're coming to a time period where we are being pushed into that direction. Like I've said many times before, the universe is finally taking control back into its own hands, because humanity has done a lot of damage. There is no humanity in humans anymore, considering all that we're experiencing, people taking advantage of things, issues like Black Lives Matter, and animal abuse and all of that. Like, people seriously taking advantage and making the wrong issue come to prominence, and forgetting that the protests, the peaceful protests that are going on, and the voices that are being raised to resolve certain issues, whether it's even for minimum wage workers or daily wage earners, those issues are important, and it's important to make sure that we're focusing in on the right issues, as opposed to collectively focusing on a very damaged group of people who are just creating chaos and are trying to divert the energy and the what do I say? It's just so annoying to me that people are looting and taking advantage, and peaceful protesters are being attacked, and it's just heartbreaking. I find myself at a loss of words right now because of all that is going on. I'm an empath, and for me to get into such topics is awfully draining, because I connect so deeply to the emotions of people and the struggles, that it becomes very difficult for me to find that balance in myself sometimes, and not be angry. But again, I keep telling myself that I have to look at the bigger picture if I want to be a part of the change that the world is forcing us to move towards. So yes, there is a lot of dissatisfaction, there is a lot of anger, but I want people to again focus on the positive aspects of things that are going on. People are coming together and fighting for the rights of different people, whether it is people being killed because of the color of their skin, or poor migrant workers being thrown around like they don't matter, and not having jobs or help from people who are in power, or poor animals that, you know, cannot speak for themselves and are being abused and, you know, experiencing really, really horrible situations where, you know, they're not being taken care of, they're being killed. And I mean, it's just, I really hope that, you know, we come together and we see that these issues need to be taken care of. They need to be dealt with. And if people of authority are not going to take charge, then we need to start taking charge. And I feel like we have sort of started taking charge. I mean, there's a lot of work left to do, and it's going to continue always. As long as we live, you know, the work's going to continue. There's going to be new problems, new issues, all of that. But again, you know, focus needs to be on coming together and working together, and not just, you know, making it about us anymore. It's a collective issue that is affecting and impacting the planet. All right, so I am gonna now divulge into the oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. What I was saying is that I'm gonna now get into the advice cards. All right, so yeah, let's go. So guys, I'm moving into the advice section of the reading. So the first advice we're getting is the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is a card of celebration. And since we have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups, I'm seeing a toast to friendship in the afternoon sun, 3 cups in happiness, 3 cheers are done, celebration is near. So I definitely see things looking up in the future, you know, with everybody struggling to make their voice heard and all of that. I mean, change doesn't come easily. Okay, we've seen that in the past with all the revolutions and all the different, you know, civil rights and human rights fights, women's rights fights, and all of that we've seen in the past. I mean, it all just shows that changes never come easy. Okay, so with the next card, patience, coming again, we need to keep our patience. Everything soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. So again, talk about the age of Aquarius. You know, the age of Aquarius, of course, is going to be a 3-year-long cycle, and it is going to push the Earth into a bigger sense of evolution when it comes to, you know, spirituality, technology, all of that. So we are moving towards that change, and with everything that is going on right now, it just shows that people have finally woken up and are willing to put, you know, whatever they've got at stake to voice their opinions and be heard. Of course, you know, we also have to keep in mind that we have to work collectively. You know, it's not just important to put our you know, voice our opinions aggressively, but it's also important to be nurturing and kind and compassionate to each other. So really important for everybody to step up, take the leadership role, and move into this new tomorrow that the age of Aquarius is has already started putting stepping stones for. All right, and then the other card we have is a moment's joy. Sand through the hourglass, yet time could stand still. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. So again, you know, important to you know, focus on helping each other, supporting each other, nurturing each other. You know, there's a lot of work for you know, healers, empaths, you know, shamans. You know, somebody asked me recently, like, you know, how is it that I'm a shaman and I also, you know, read tarot, because usually shamans don't read tarot, but there are a small group of shamans that do both. Okay, I do you know, do a lot of different things when it comes down to healing and all of that. I work with earth elements, and I also work with crystals and energy and tarot card, numerology, astrology, all of that. So personally, I find myself connected to all these different aspects of spiritualism and connection to the divine. But everybody has to find their own route. So again, this higher calling of connecting to yourselves, connecting to each other, being nurturing, being kind, being compassionate, working together, because that's what's going to eventually help us succeed and move into the positive direction that we want to experience. The Ace of Cups, the new energy, the emotional shift, in people. So that's that. Then we have the Chariot. Okay, so with the Chariot, again, it's a call to action. So I see people are going to start taking more leadership roles. They're going to put themselves out there, take a more responsible stand and help others. So really excellent, that people are now beginning to see the importance of working together. I mean, of course, a lot of it is still yet to be established. We've just started. There's a long road ahead. But the fact that the Chariot comes up, it gives me hope that we're moving into a new direction, because this is an action to call and change and moving into a new realm, a new journey. All right, so really positive card. Then we have the Nine of Cups. Again, really positive card. Wishes coming true, material abundance, good health. This card, of course, is telling me that the overall energy is going to change when people are going to start taking care of each other, being responsible, being helpful, again, take more leadership based roles, be more responsible towards each other, as opposed to causing trouble and misery. And again, the government can only suppress you if you continue to stick to a lower vibration. But if people together decide that they want things to change and they want to move into a higher vibrational phase of humanity, and they want to be responsible and in terms of like doing their duties properly, and being the people who on a day-to-day basis take do all they can in their power to help each other, because I mean, government can only make laws at their own time. But if we start taking more roles of leadership and helping the community and all of that, things are going to start changing. If you don't feel that the government is doing a good enough job, it becomes our responsibility to first vote for the right kind of people, and also the right kind of people choosing to move into more leadership oriented roles, and also I feel like a lot of different companies who are using products that are more earth friendly and more that help communities that are that need help. So in my so to speak advice would be help those businesses, make buy things from there, um, go eat there or whatever, like whatever service they're providing, like use their services, because um, again, all that you're giving to them is going to come back to the community. So very, very important to understand who's doing what, and support those people, encourage those people that they're taking the step to towards the right direction. All right, now we have the card study. Reading, research, and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So now, of course, this card can also be for people who are pursuing an education, like for students and stuff, or wanting to go in for higher studies. But when this card appears in the overall reading, I personally feel that this is talking more in the sense of studying and researching people around us, who's collectively adding money in the pockets of the rich, and which organizations actually work towards helping people. Study it, research it, find your information, and support those groups, support those people. I feel a lot of these small businesses and companies, struggle because people are just, not responsible when it comes down to, researching and finding out, what kind of different options they have. But I think we've come down to a place where we need to start looking at options, okay? Because the big companies aren't really doing much for anyone, all right? So look at people who are trying to help communities, and the money's coming back, or they're employing people from the communities. So their businesses can flourish, and more people can reap the results, and the positive effect of whatever is whatever support they're receiving. Okay, so very, very important. I'm sorry guys, I keep losing my train of thought because there's so much going on in my head right now, and also with the eclipse energy, it's so strong. I've literally been feeling it for the last like 5-6 days, and I mean it's been intense. So I wanted to post this reading before, and just couldn't get myself to do it because it's just feeling so overwhelmed. But yeah, I mean, please bear with me. I'm trying my best to stay focused and get this finished. Okay, so the next card I'm getting, memories, cherished memories of loved ones. So again, this time that we're experiencing today is all about people coming together, working together, making new memories. The planet, as we know today, is shifting on a daily basis. So again, very, very important to work together, work with the planet, work with all the species of the planet, make positive memories, and move forward. What we're doing today is unprecedented, okay? But collectively, if we work towards the direction that we're moving into, it's going to be good for the humanity's overall energy and all of that. All right, money, find a way to abundance. Again, I feel like this card tells me a lot about the smaller businesses, and people who are now venturing into their own projects and stuff, whether it's non-profits, whether it's tarot reading, or all of that, food, and the services that people are providing. Just support them, because eventually all of that is going to come back into the community. All right. Also, again, talking about abundance, this eclipse season is all about manifestations. It's been so for a long time. So again, to manifest the desires and the dreams that you want for yourself, really important to purge out the things that are not serving you anymore. Let go of the past, shift your vibration, move towards a more positive and a more action oriented energy, so you can move from point A to B. All right. Leadership, set your goals. Again, see, like I said, be action oriented. We're being called to action. Chariot, again, focusing on that, moving forward, people taking more power into their own hands and being a leader on the day-to-day basis and helping the community. If we start working on that level, on the grassroots level, there's the authority at the top is obviously going to have no choice but to go with what the flow of the chain of events is going to set out for them. So again, very important to support the leaders, to be the leader. Okay. Knowledge, seek knowledge. Again, study, like I said, important to know your facts, know your truths, understand what you're being called to do, how you play an important role collectively in this this change that we have started moving towards. Extremely important. Everybody has to consciously raise their vibration, connect with themselves, connect with the universe, connect with the higher realms, and also connect with each other, make memories, help each other through acquiring leadership roles, supporting leadership roles, supporting each other by investing or encouraging businesses that help communities. All right. And then confrontation, pick your battles wisely. So again, sometimes aggression is not the only way. It has to be all done in a balance. All right. Make sure that we're not just focusing our aggression on challenging bad leaders, but we're also taking the time to appreciate the good ones that are coming forward. I'm not saying that all the authoritative figures that we're currently dealing with are good. No, that is not a fact. All right. But there are people who are collectively working to make a difference, be a part of the change. So when you find yourselves meeting such people, be appreciative, be kind, and work with them. Try and find solutions of how you can help them and how they can help you, and be a part of like this change of energy that the planet is experiencing as a whole. All right. Again, guys, I thank you so much for watching this reading and supporting me, and always being so kind and encouraging. I also want to thank you for bearing with me, because today I lost my thought a lot, and I was just zoning in and out. But that's not anybody's fault, just the energy is such right now. So anywho, like I said, this is the overall reading for the lunar eclipse for 5th of June. This lunar eclipse is in Sagittarius, and if anybody wants a private reading, please feel free to contact me. Anybody who requires the crystals, not just the crystals that I have posted about, but also other crystals. If people need help with health issues, or work and money related issues, or just anything, relationship problems. There are crystals for everything. I also provide healing services, so Reiki and energy healing, all of that. So please feel free to reach out. All right, I'm more than happy to help. I wish you all the best. I wish you all love, peace, and happiness. All right, take care. Bye bye.